In this video, I'm going to react to how the MLS is creating massive rivalry. Another episode of Kabir Considers. This is the place where I react to music, media, sports, anime, anything related to popular culture. I'll watch it with an open mind and give you my 100% honest reaction to it. And if you could please hit that like button early, I'd really appreciate it. Now, this should be another fun one because as someone who is a long-time football fan, of a UK team, Arsenal Football Club, it's really been fascinating, learning about the MLS, where it is in terms of its quality, in terms of the teams involved, and of course the rivalries, because for me, I'm a firm believer that you need rivalries to build a fan base, and to bring in new fans. Just because, when let's say that you've got a person who doesn't follow soccer or football and he's looking for something to watch and he just, happens upon an MLS game. If it's a big rivalry game and the crowds are really, just loud, proud, supporting their teams, the players are playing passionately, I think you've got a much higher chance of converting that person into a fan of the sport, as opposed to if they're just watching some boring, game where there's no real passion or heat, if you know what I mean. And the MLS has been really successful in terms of the rivalries between, Portland and Seattle, in terms of New York FC and the New York Red Bulls, LAFC and the LA Galaxy, to name a few, the Toronto and Montreal. There's quite a few, and it's, it's great to see, honestly, and I really can't wait to see where the MLS goes in the next few years. So let's go. This is going to be me reacting to how the MLS is creating intense rivalries. Let's do it.
I think a lot of people in Europe think that football doesn't exist in America.
Ooh, skills.
It's not really a top league. The supporters are fake.
The history isn't there.
To the back, the left foot shot, goal! Older man's league. Jack Harrison!
It's showbiz.
Americans don't really know how to play the game.
I don't care what anybody says now, we have our own thing. And it's not continental European, it's not South American, it's not English, it's North American football sport.
And the rivalry still have to grow, but this is how.
Hey, Patrick Vieira, Arsenal legend, captain of the Invincibles.
This league will be really special.
All right.
From North British Columbia down to about the middle of Oregon is typically what we call Cascadia, where it follows the Cascades mountain ranges. Vancouver is a new Hollywood. Seattle's tech heavy, and then Portland is often handmade, crafty, Portlandia-esque, if you will. We kind of think that this area of the country is unique.
You come out here because you want to create your own way of doing things.
We have a population that is from all over.
We have pride regionally in Cascadia, and that's shared all the way from Vancouver to Portland.
But when it comes to the soccer rivalry in Cascadia, the Whitecaps, the Sounders, and the Timbers do not like each other.
The fan bases cannot stand each other.
They think we're scum.
It's a whole different type of feeling when Portland comes to town or Vancouver comes to town.
I say to the guys, every time they step out on that pitch and play in a derby game, it's a special occasion.
They get one over on us, I feel a little bit personally responsible.
This is the thing, as the manager just said, yes, it is a personal thing, and you guys need to, even though you give 100%, if in every game, try and find another 10. Try, because you do not want to lose to your rivals, because they're going to remember it and they're going to hold it over you forever.
And it hurts, it stings.
In rivalries, you've got to go through success and hurt. You've got to feel what it means to lose in the last minute or concede a goal in the last minute, to understand what it really means. And that takes time.
Something that needs to be recognized outside of North America is that your closest away day is 3.5 hours one way with a land border.
Based on that distance between them that allows that regional pride to come into play.
The proximity of the other cities just makes it all the more heated and all the more exciting.
It's the only league I know that actually wins a trophy when you play in a derby game.
In 2004, the supporters collected some money and produced the Cascadia Cup to reflect the rivalry between the three teams.
It's authentic. The supporters bought the Cascadia Cup.
That's awesome. It just feels so like the fan involvement is just so deep and real. I quite like that, to be honest.
It was invented and sponsored to try to add meaning to a game.
It came from us. We really like the idea of creating something from nothing or barely anything.
Now, when you watch Timbers versus Sounders or Timbers versus Whitecaps, before you even see the kits on the field, you know you can place that game right away. You know what our tifo looks like. You know what our stadiums sound like. We've found our voice and we don't really need to copy anybody else's anymore.
We can really make this the foundation that the league builds upon. Every city can look like Seattle as far as the level of supporting. Every city could be a Portland.
That beat.
I get tired of people like, oh, when is New York going to care about soccer? New York's been a soccer city. The only thing we needed was soccer to watch.
There's so much.
I imagine, because yeah, New York has a big Italian population, a big European population too, and obviously they all love soccer. And you know, the Americans who live in New York, like I feel like New York is probably really close to London in terms of how, you know, the things that we like and dislike. Yeah, so I think New York was always going to be a big soccer market.
Diversity in New York. There's fans from all across Europe, all across South America.
Argentina, France, Honduras, Ecuador, and everyone comes together under one thing, and that's, you know, the New York Red Bulls.
New York City Football Club.
It's that inner city rivalry that every league around the world has.
New York City Football Club started in 2013. That was when the announcement was made.
We were original in '96. These guys just kind of got their free pass to the big leagues. It was a bitter pill to swallow for a lot of New York Red Bulls fans.
There's beef. There's beef there. We got Manchester City Light. We get Plastic, that we're a plastic club. I remember people used to say like, oh, how can you be a fan of a team that hasn't played yet? So when can I be a fan? You tell me when I can be a fan. I can be a fan whenever the hell I want.
Yes. You don't let anyone tell you what to do. Yeah.
Whether we'd like to admit it or not, this has been good for New York Red Bulls. They were the gunpowder, and NYCFC was the match that was lit in the explosion of what is now the New York Derby.
As far as rivalries or derby, I think this is the most important one for the league. We're in the media capital of the world. People are paying attention.
The Cascadia Derby, it is fantastic, but I don't know if it'll ever hit headlines in Europe like a New York Derby would.
It could be one of those things that everyone in the world knows about, everyone in the world pays attention to. It's going to take a while, but the passion's already there.
It's going to get there inevitably. Like the MLS is just growing and growing and growing. The money being pumped into it is just rapidly increasing. I think an MLS franchise about 20 years ago was like $20 million or something like that. Now it's like, I think a few $100 million or something. It's inevitably going to become a huge worldwide league. Just like the Italian league, the Premier League, La Liga. It's inevitable.
People in Europe, they're born into a team, whereas here I think they have a lot of opportunity to really make the game their own.
You know, we started out bagging pickle buckets. Now we have tifo displays that take hundreds of gallons of paint.
For us, we're just kind of enjoying the moment. I mean, who gets to see the beginning of a club?
That's the unique thing, is being here at the beginning of that history.
There is something very envious. I'm sure a lot of Liverpool fans would have liked to have been there in the beginning, to have had a part in what their team was about to develop into.
It's true.
I think we're starting to figure out what it took to get up to that bar, but there's still a lot of work to do.
I do love the Portland Timbers tradition of cutting that slab of wood after every goal, I think it is. I love it. It's so cool. Just hearing that must be really, really intense.
Rivalries are all about supporters. So every time we play in these Cascadia Cup games, you know, I get the players to play for them.
Something I can guarantee is that players from outside, we're going to play with a lot of love for the game, and we want to do well for our fans.
I think there's a real opportunity to build football culture in America,
Absolutely.
to create their own rituals, create their own celebrations, and just kind of make their own version of the sport.
Absolutely. Man, that was epic. I mean, everything about that video was just perfectly well done. The music, the fans, the people they had speaking, the imagery, it was just great. Like the MLS, this is really exciting time for the MLS, honestly, because like it's on a really steep growth curve. It's just inevitably going to become exponential in terms of its growth. It's a big country. Fans there love sport, you know, like with all of the things going on with American football in terms of the concussion and things like that, I believe a lot of parents are putting their kids into soccer instead. So you're just going to have a huge amount of kids growing up playing soccer, watching soccer. It's just, yeah, this is a great time for the MLS. Really, really exciting. I just cannot wait to see where it goes. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and keep throwing the recommendations my way. I know I say it all the time, but they genuinely help me out, because if I know you enjoyed watching something, I'll definitely enjoy reacting to it. So like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, keep throwing the recommendations, and I'll catch you in the next one.